Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Today is September 28th, 2021. My name is Bojan Petreski. We'll be doing the futures live trading session today. My email is right here, boyan@tradictive.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. 1 second here, just trying to get this stuff here because it got switched. Okay, there we are. Alrighty. So the disclaimer is there for your use, your protection, your information. Please make sure to read it, understand it, and acknowledge what it stands for. As we're getting started with our future session for today. All right. This is the agenda for today. We're going to take a look at what the market environment is. What kind of positions can we take, right? We're going to execute those positions and we're going to manage them utilizing our intraday management plan and rules. Okay, so that's the current plan right now. Let's go ahead and get started. Load up the workspace here. We've got the short-term time frames climates. Alrighty. That's loading up fairly quickly, which is nice. Good to see that. Kind of a fresh morning here. All right, so what is the plan? What are we doing? How are we going to be executing and so on? So what is the course that we're going to take today, right? We're going to see a couple of things here. We're going to be looking for a confirmed climate, right? We don't want to see a gray box here. We want either a blue or a red box. And ideally, we would like it to be a near sensible short or near sensible long. Obviously, right off the bat here, we have the Russell, the Dow Jones, and the Euro on the 60-minute flashing near sensible short. So let's go ahead and open them up and see what kind of market we're working with here. So we've got Russell and the Dow. Let's open up the Russell. Russell, there we go. And the Dow, the YM15. So we can start taking a look. In the meantime, feel free to say hi on the chat box. Don't be shy. We'll be getting this party going here. All right. If you're joining me on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, any one of the places that we're simulcasting, welcome aboard. If you're joining me through our own tradewithufos/live, the live portion of our website, welcome there too. I just got that chat back on, so we should be good to go. All right, let's looks like I haven't traded the Dow since it last changed contracts. Whoa. Okay, Mr. Dow, let's load you up on the December contract already. So let's get that loaded. Okay, and it looks like we're already going to have a trade setup right off the bat here. 34,598. Yep, that's definitely going to work. So that's this one here. Okay, yep, that's going to work perfectly. So just because it's so close, I'm already going to put my order in. I'm just going to go ahead and set this up and then explain it later because we don't want to miss it. 635 is the stop. Climate is third, still confirmed. We're good. We're in that trade. Let's quickly move our stops down below. 370. All right. And our final target is probably going to be a little further down here. Sorry for moving quickly. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and then I'm going to explain 34,487. 34,487 on this one. 34,487. All right, so that's our trade setup. Now let's go ahead and explain the the setup that we're doing here. So why did we take this setup? Why was it, so quickly executed, so on? Because sometimes opportunities present themselves, and lo and behold, you can no longer get on it because you already missed it. Now, the main point here is the fact that we do have a setup that meets the criteria of our rules, and those rules are the following, right? So the first set of rules that we have is the fact that we have a confirmed climate, right? We have a confirmed down climate. It's the third one out of typically five. So that's the confirmed part of the climate. Now, the second part of the fact is the fact that we have a UFO right here, this 34601, 34634, that is enveloping this moving average at 34,599. Okay, so 34,599 is where this moving average is, and we do have a UFO that's being enveloped by this, in this area right here, right? 34, 599 is essentially almost right there at the bottom of that UFO. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we stand. Now our stop goes a tick above that UFO. Our T1 goes, 1 to 1, the distance between the exit and the entry. I'm sorry, the entry and the stop. So 1 to 1. Main point that we need to, stay kind of aware of is the fact that how much you're risking versus what your risk tolerance is, right? So if this was too risky of a trade for you, then you should have definitely taken it. You could have taken it with the micros, right? It would be a tenth of the risk with 2 contracts. But as of right now, the trade is valid. Now, how do we manage this trade? So we manage it according to our rules, right? Our time and trade rules. The entry candle is this candle here. We take 1, 2, 3. All right, so it takes 3. We're gonna give it 3 candles for this to work out to our T1, which our T1 is down there at 561. And our final target is at 487. Now for the 487, obviously, if we get there today, wonderful, great. That would have been a nice trade. If we don't get there today, that's also fine too. We're gonna trail stop this trade should it hit this T1, in time. Let's call it. And when I say in time, I really do refer to this square box here that I'm gonna draw. So we have another, 4 minutes or so to leave this trade on to hit our target. If it does not hit our target, then we're gonna go ahead and close this trade at market, whatever the result may be, a positive or negative. Okay, so we're gonna leave that on right there. We're gonna let it do its thing. I just want to check out the Russell, since we obviously already discussed that trade. Is most likely gonna be a very similar scenario, and there it is. With the Russell, still same thing, confirmed climate. It's actually, so this one would not have worked out because, as you see, the moving average is at 2268.5. 2268.5 is basically right here. So it's in front of the UFO. It is not quite at the UFO. So this UFO starts at 2268.8. So this would have been above the moving average. So this entry would not have been a valid entry. So I'm glad we looked at the Dow first. Okay, pushing up against us a little bit here on the Dow. Again, we have another 2 minutes to let this run until we close it out for a loss or a win, whatever the case may be. All right, so let's wait this out for a second. In the meantime, I'm just gonna take a look at the chats all around to make sure I'm not missing anything. If everyone's doing okay, just let me know so. I forgot that we are actually streaming on LinkedIn too, so I did not have that open. Let me just make sure that nobody's on there. I don't believe so, but I think, yeah. Okay, we're good. Alrighty, so everything's looking good. Our trade is most likely going to be closed either for a small win or a small loss. We're going to leave it running. We're going to see what's going to happen with it. Um, in the meantime, looking at the climates, RTY is still the same. The Dow is again still the same, a little bit in the negative ATR there, meaning it's trading above its moving average. But other than that, okay, so we do have the 60-minute on the euro, on the ES, and on the NQ is flashing as sensible short. So let's take a look at those as soon as we close this trade. Okay. Come on down, make a nice big push to the downside so we can close this for either a little bit of profit, at least pay the commission, right? Okay. Looks like it wants to go a little bit higher. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close that there. It's for a small loss. It's no big deal. Um, okay, well, there we go. Aren't we glad we closed it there, huh? Right? Okay. Russell is also pushing a little bit higher. The Dow is pushing there too. Very, very choppy movement up, meaning a lot of buyers kicked in there. So I'm glad we closed our trade right where we closed it. We're gonna see how this is gonna pan out. Right now, we might actually get a new UFO there, and if we do, that's a valid entry. Actually, that will be a valid entry, as long as we're entering at or below the moving average. That's the key thing. All right, so let's see how that's gonna pan out for us. Just watching it for a second here. 15-minute time frames just updated across the board. Near sensible long on the euro. So let's go ahead and put that on here. Near sensible long on the euro 15-minute. Let's see if we can get that going here. Okay. Just want to update that. Okay. There we go. 16,991. 69. That's within this UFO. So at 1700, we could take this long. Okay. Now the one thing about this one is you're gonna have to put your stop below 16,990, which is right here. 16,880. So that's where that's gonna be. That's our T1. T2, I'm just gonna move away for a minute and see how or where we land with T2. So T2 is all the way up here at 17,140. All right, 17,140. Right, 1 second here. Okay, so 17,140. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, so 17,140 is actually fairly close. Did I see that right? 17,140. That's right. Okay. So 17,140 it is. For some reason, that looked further away than what it seemed. 140. Right there. Okay. So we have our second trade there. And, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just frame it out here, same way as we did for the previous one. We're going to put a vertical. right there. So 1, 2, 3. All right. A giant red UFO just appeared right as we went long. That's always fun, right? That's okay. Sometimes that's how it is. Let's go ahead and draw this out here. Okay, that's good. We're all set with that. I guess, yeah, by the time we drew it, we have 1, 2 candles already showing up. So, you know, that's what it is. Let's see if we can get a strong pullback off of this green UFO down here that's a little bit deeper into this trade. And then we go from there. All right. Everything's looking good. Everything's pretty well set up. We got another 10 minutes before the open. Just gonna double check the chat to make sure everything's good. Everything's looking okay. So it seems. All right, take a quick sip of water. All right, so the euro is hitting both of these UFOs at the same time, which is, I think is good for us as long as these UFOs hold and obviously our climate holds. We are already trading a little bit below the moving average, but we're kind of hoping for rather expecting a move from these two UFOs. Already one of them got filled. This one's already fully in. Price is fully in it. And but unfortunately, this is most likely going to end up being either a small loser or a small winner if we get a pullback from here, like we're seeing right here. We are going to see what's going to happen. Okay, there we go. We're kind of getting into it now. A little bit deeper of a, penetration into that UFO. Right now, just hovering around the entry. Not a whole lot going on. So, not much to do. Just sit on our hands, kind of watch this and wait for this to basically close in about a minute from now or so. Let's see if we can take it. For either a small win or a small loss. Other than that, guys, just let me know how's it going in the chat box. We're, about a third of the way into the session. Just let me know if there's any comments, any concerns, anything that you want to check on, discuss, anything along those lines. Okay. Just going to keep that open here. All right, so it looks like we're looking okay. We're in this trade. Okay, now we're going to be out of this trade. Again, small loser there. Nothing big, nothing major. That's, believe me when I tell you, that's much better than, a big loser, right? A full stop out. And even if this goes, it shoots up, that's fine too. What matters is right now is for us to be, conservative with our price entries. We need to be, mindful of price action. Just, for example, this Dow obviously just wanted to keep going higher, but not only that, we have a confirmed up climate. So the climate actually changed from red to blue, right? That means a strong move up happened. So I'm glad we got out where we got out, obviously. If we were to take this long, this UFO does actually meet the criteria at 611 here. The unfortunate part is the fact that we're going to have our stop below 560. So again, this is another. Excuse me for a second. Let me just try to make this a little bit nicer. There we go. So our stop would need to be below this 560 area. So our stop would need to be somewhere around like 559. It's just a matter of, it's quite the extended risk of a trade. So we need to be mindful of that. And if we are taking it, we could definitely put our entry here at 611. Since the climate is confirmed, I'm going to go ahead and do that at 611. Okay, but again, our stop is way down here at 589. I'm sorry, not 589, 559. 559, right there. Okay, so if it gives us the entry, we are talking about, what is it, 611 minus 559, that's 52 ticks times, $5 times 2. We're talking $520 of a risk. So not little, not huge. Let's see if we can get some sort of an entry on that, because in the meantime, nothing on the climates on the 15-minute time frame. The euro actually has 690, 980. No, that's not going to work. Okay, let's see if the Dow is going to give us something, or maybe RTY is unconfirmed now. We can go ahead and close this. This to all. All right. Let's see if the Dow is going to pull back into our entry. This actually needs to be 52 plus 611, that's 63. Let's go ahead and replace that. That's our T1. Our T2 is here at 34,702. So we're going to go ahead and replace this 34,702. Okay, there's that. Let's see if we can get a fill to go to the upside, and this will play into the open. Of course, if we get fill on this trade, it will play into the open. That's just how things work. Well, it's basically that time already, 6:26. We got 4 minutes to the open. Let's see what we can come up with here, and see if we can get a fill on this trade, so it can take us to the upside, and we'll be able to, capture the movement going up. And see what we can come up with. Let me know how's it going in the chat, folks. If you're following along, if there's any questions or comments or anything, please feel free to let me know in the chat. We'll be, getting into hopefully this trade before the open. I would say there's almost unless we see like an explosive move to the upside, I would say we're definitely getting a fill on this trade. There's the euro finally popping off, kind of what we expected earlier. But that's okay. That's how it is. We're going to be I'm just kind of holding off on a couple of trades right now, just because we have this Dow trade set up already at 611. So let's see if this can, fill us, and then we go to the upside and capture some of those profits, make up for some of that loss that we had. A couple of, that's the advantage of basically having, a strict trade plan like this, right? We have a couple of we have two small losers on our end here. We don't have anything, crazy, but um, one good trade, right? One good trade should make up for, at least two to three, maybe four, depending on what the risk to reward ratio is. Bad trades. That's how you're supposed to be, playing this game, right? So yeah, that's that. Okay, let's see what we can get. The open's a minute away. Let's see if we can get some movement down, movement up, whichever way it's gonna go. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, come on. A few ticks away. There it is. We're in. A lot of volatility. That's always a good thing. There's that movement that we're expecting. Lots of fun. All right. There's that move. There's that nice big move up. Come on. Almost to T1. Almost. I don't see why it wouldn't. New UFO already formed there. Come on. Few was it? What's it been? The high is 56. There should be T1 right now. Really? It's teasing. It is teasing. Let's see. There's T1. All right. That's great. Let's go ahead and put our stop right below this UFO at 590. All right. Now it's a definite winner. Okay. Well, let's see what we can come up with here. All right. Pulling back a little bit. Time in play no longer is in effect. All right. We already got T1. So that's already done. Now we should just see if we can get a continuation move to the upside, or if we're going to push to the low side. We're going to see. Um, at the same time, if you want to, you know, if you're not liking a lot of this movement, a lot of this price action, you're okay if you just want to say, you know what, I'm happy with this winning. I'm just going to close this trade at market. That's fine too. You don't have to hold it like this, but you are going to be missing out on what we're seeing here, which is at 615. We're going to move our stop. Now this is a definitely profitable trade, right? So new UFOs were given. If they hold, this should move higher. If they don't, this might change. And I just realized something down below here that's actually allowing me to go ahead and close this at market. And that's the climate down below. It actually became unconfirmed. As soon as the market changes from the direction that I was going to, unconfirmed, it's okay for me to change that. it's okay for me to close a trade that's no longer going in the same way with the climate. So, I went ahead and closed the trade, and that's fine. That's okay. This might shoot the T2 within a few minutes, but the climate is unconfirmed. It's less likely to do so now. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just kind of switch gears here, see if we can find something else. There we go. The euro is actually right within the UFO, but it's already trading below the moving average. We could realistically kind of take this uh, here for a better fill entry, because if we saw it earlier, we would have been already in here at 85, right? So we could certainly take this, um, but again, that's a little bit towards the quote unquote cheating side. um, so we can go ahead and hold off on it. My main thing right now is I want to go ahead and switch off to our private channels, to our private streams, and I will catch you there. If you haven't already, please join us on our own uh, Crypticon. No, actually, I'm Macedonian. Yeah. Thanks for the question though. um, I'm gonna go ahead and switch off to our private channel, which is tradewithufos.com/live. If you haven't already, please sign up for the membership there so you can get access to the full session, as this session where we're simulcasting is already at its point where we gotta switch it off. So bear with me 1 second. And there's also